Our next speaker is Thadoe Wai, alumnus of environmental science. He's speaking on immunological risk assessment of mercury intake by Orcaella Brevirostris in the Irrawaddy River.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. So hello, everybody. My name is Thadoe, and I was an environmental science student at SFU. And I'll be convocating this June as well because I just finished back in December. To give a context as well, this is like one of the pictures I took in the Okanagan where I took a field course. And this was at the Ministry of Forestry in Yangon, where I was helping train rangers with WWF on combating elephant poaching. And my main concern was that, my main focus on why I chose this project was because I'm an international student from Myanmar, and after almost half a century of self-imposed exile because of the military regime, we are finally opening up to the international community. And one of the things that's been lacking was studies on the environmental conservation issue that's been going on in Myanmar. And the receptor organism that I want to focus on is the Irrawaddy river dolphin, which lives along from the deltas of the Irrawaddy to the upper central regions of Myanmar as well. But they're also found throughout South and Southeast Asia in brackish waters in the Bay of Bengal down to Philippines to the country of Philippines as well. They are piscivorous, and being on top of the food chain, they are at high risk of mercury consumption because of bioaccumulation. This is a picture of the dolphins having a mutual relationship with people that live along the river, where they will help corral the fish into the fishermen's nets, and then they'll be rewarded with the bycatch from the fishermen. So this sort of mutualistic behavior between humans and dolphins is also one of the reasons why it is a culturally valuable animal. So as I said before, after coming out to back to the international community, we still have environmental, social, and economic issues that we have to solve. And yeah, this is also there's also a lack of data on why there's a very low dolphin population in Myanmar, where we only have roughly 60 individuals left that lives along the stretch of the Irrawaddy River. And for this project, I'll be comparing with data from the Irrawaddy River dolphin subpopulation in Cambodia in the Mekong River, because I'm working on the assumption that the mining practices over there would be much more better regulated, so it could be used as a standard to measure for the health condition for the subpopulation in the Irrawaddy River. So this is the method that I use for my immunological risk assessment, where I'll be looking at white blood cell function. Because we didn't really have live tissue samples that I could find for the Irrawaddy river dolphin, I used Baizo's sampling, where he used data from white blood cells that belong to the bottlenose dolphins. And the reference dose will be a measure of how much mercury it's going to be taking in per day. And the hazard index and risk quotients are key identifiers on how much impact that the dolphin will be experiencing because of the mercury that's present in its environment. So the intake value, because dolphins take in roughly 5% of its body mass and it weighs about 130 kilograms, it's 6.5 kilograms of fish. And according to a paper by Osawa and Atsukawa, each fish has a concentration of roughly 1.5 micrograms of mercury per gram of fish. And I'll be using, for BSO's data, I got this table where he's measuring high blood cell activity that's been exposed to mercury. And using that data, I was able to plot out my EC50 value, which is the effects concentration value at which white blood cell activity has ceased to 50%. And from this, I calculated that I got a reference dose of roughly 2 micrograms of mercury per kilogram of dolphin, which brings us to a hazard index of 37.5. Normally, a hazard index of 1 or lower is considered to be nominal. So we could see that the Irrawaddy river dolphin is a high risk in its namesake river. And compared to the Mekong data, we can see that it's significantly lower compared to the Irrawaddy River. So a lot of changes in mining practices, such as how the waste is disposed or how mining damage to the environment is mitigated, is important. So in conclusion, so the mining sector, not only although the mining sector provides a lot of revenue for the country, and especially which is crucial in its development stage, it's still going to be important that this has to be done in a sustainable and least damaging to the environment as possible. And not only would the Irrawaddy River dolphin be at risk in its namesake river, but people will be at risk as well. And thank you.